Today, I'm going to talk about stress and anxiety. As a college student, stress is something that I feel a lot of the time, whether it be over exams that are coming up, over the bulk of homework assignments being due, or over anything in my life. Stress is something I feel a lot of the time. Today, I'm going to talk about a couple verses related to stress and my thoughts on them. Starting off with Matthew 6:34. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. This is one verse that means exactly what it says. When we're living our life, don't worry about what will happen tomorrow. Just worry about who you are today and living for God today. Don't worry about the troubles that tomorrow may bring. Just live. There's already trouble sufficient for the day that you're in. So, you have to focus on that trouble and beat that trouble and those stresses and those anxieties before you can focus on what's coming tomorrow. Live life one day at a time, but live every day focusing on God. Another verse is Philippians 4:6-7. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Jesus Christ. This verse starts with four powerful words. Be anxious for nothing. No matter how well you do in school, no matter how many friends you have, no matter how many relationships you're in, friendships, be anxious for nothing. All that matters in your life, in the end, is how much you'll do for Christ. That you're in Him, that you're saved through Him. So be anxious for nothing. If you're worried about stuff, pray. But in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. If you're worried about something, then pray about it. God will tell you an answer through prayer, or God will help you out with the issue that you're dealing with, or the situation that you're in. Prayer is a very powerful tool. So don't be anxious, but instead pray. Psalm 55:22 pairs well with this verse. Cast your burden on the Lord, and He shall sustain you. He shall never permit the righteous to be moved. Casting your burden on the Lord, you can do through prayer. Prayer is a great way to cast your burden on Him and to give Him your problems and anxieties. Just pray about it. Sometimes that's all you need to do, and He'll help you through that. All you have to do sometimes is just pray. Reading the Word is also big, because you can read verses like these about learning how to control your anxieties and what you should be anxious about. And the answer to that is nothing. Don't be anxious about anything that the world says is important. Just be worried about living your life fully for God. Proverbs 19:21. There are many plans in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord's counsel, that will stand. The knowledge and wisdom that the Lord provides you with, that's what will stand in your life. That's what will stand fully and eternally in your life. None of the plans of your human body will stand. Those plans are foolish to the Lord. The human body and the flesh walk in foolishness. But the Lord's counsel, that will stand. The Lord's wisdom, that will stand. So when you're being anxious about plans that you've made, don't worry about them. Pray. Be within the Lord's counsel. Ask for His wisdom. Because the plans of your human heart may never hold. God may make some of them hold for His good, but some of them may not. And don't be worried about that. Just understand that the Lord has a different plan for you. Following up, a great verse with this, Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. Some relationships God will end. Some friendships God will end. To everything there is a season. He may do this to make you come back together once you're both more grown in the faith, or when you're at an all-time low, and he'll bring that friend back to who they once were for you. Everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. God is in control of everything in your life. So if something is going wrong and you're anxious about losing a friendship, God has a plan. He has everything under his seasons and his time. Proverbs 12:25. Anxiety in the heart of a man causes depression, but a good word makes it glad. If you know a friend, if you have a friend that struggles with anxiety, don't try to put more things on them. That's not going to help them out. Instead, talk to them and give them joy and give them confidence and compliment them in the good things they do, and maybe even in the small things they do, because a good word makes people glad. But anxiety will cause depression, and if you just keep pushing things, thinking you're making them better, then it won't work. It will just make them more anxious and more depressed. Sorry. And the final verse that I'm going to talk about today is Zephaniah 3:17. The Lord your God in your midst, the mighty one will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing. The verse says all there is to say. The Lord God is in your midst. He's in your body, and he's in your spirit if you've given your life to him. Even if you haven't, the Lord God is still with you. He's just not living in you. He's still there, and he'll still protect you when you need it. And he'll still make it so your life is going for his plan and how he has planned it to reach you at some point in your life. Every day, the Lord your God will be in your midst. He is the mighty one. The mighty God we serve is always in your midst, in your heart, and in your soul.